Hello everybody, Maven here, and I got my hands on the Icebreaker, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's pretty broken. When I saw this weapon was coming back, I had low expectations. I thought Bungie would completely neuter it, and then we would just end up forgetting about it in a year or so. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this is easily one of the strongest weapons in the game now, and it will definitely be part of the meta, no doubt. So today I wanted to do a full rundown of how it works and do some testing with it, as well as a build to perfectly synergize with it. So let's break it down. Hope you enjoy. So first of all, how do you get the Icebreaker? Well, you get it from the new Vesper's host dungeon. You get it as a guaranteed drop on contest mode, but unfortunately contest mode ended today. So if you don't have it, you just gotta get it randomly from the final boss. You get 3 chances each week, once per character per week, and I'm pretty sure there's triumphs you can do that increase the odds of it dropping. Now let's break it down. So it is its own sniper archetype, which is a 49 RPM, so it shoots very slow, which to me is kind of a good thing at times because it allows me more time to actually aim and land my shots, but it also kind of hinders its ad flare at times, and it really punishes you if you miss. So this weapon comes with the perk Icebreaker, which says defeating a target with this weapon causes them to explode, precision final blows, or shattering a frozen target instead triggers an ignition. So as you can see here against Carl, I can have a Bleak Watcher turret just pelting him non-stop and constantly freezing him, and every time I shatter him, it will cause a solar ignition, which is not only amazing for burst damage, but also amazing for ad clear. It chunks, and I mean that. It chunks really effing hard, dude. It does quite a hefty amount of damage if I do say so myself. It seriously feels like you're just shooting him with a rocket. And here's a clip of me shooting him with 3 rockets so you can see what I mean. The damage is pretty similar. And by the way, you don't even need to land crits. You can just land a body shot, break the ice, and boom, for ignition, as you can see here. And that's what makes this weapon so incredibly cracked for stasis builds. You can just freeze things and tap them for a free ignition. And on top of that, breaking stasis crystals causes ignitions, but this I would only utilize as a last resort. It does way more damage if you just hit your crit on your target rather than breaking the crystal near them. But anyways, this weapon also comes with the perk No Backpack, which says final blows or assists with any other weapon or ability have a chance to create ammo for Icebreaker. Defeating powerful combatants will create multiple rounds. This perk kind of plays into the theme of the infinite ammo generated in Destiny 1, and I'm going to tell you right now, this perk is broken. It's quite literally just infinite ammo. Now, as you can see here, this might look a bit strange, but despite the Icebreaker being a slow firing archetype, it has 10 in the magazine and 0 reserves. This is actually the max amount of ammo it can carry. Now, you might think that's bad, but trust me, it's fine. You're gonna have infinite ammo anyway, because all you gotta do is get kills with other weapons or abilities and you get granted ammo. And the perk says it gives you a chance to get ammo, but that's actually misleading. It works off of a progress system just like finders do. At least I believe so from what I've seen. So as you can see here, every other red bar I kill is granting 1 ammo. It's filling up an invisible progress meter, and these trash mobs grant 50% of it. And aside from trash mobs, the odds are guaranteed. Killing an elite will always grant you 2 ammo. Killing a major will always grant 3 ammo. And killing a mini boss will grant 3 or 4 ammo. I've seen 4 more often, but Carl is sometimes granted 3 for me. And killing a champion will also grant 3 or 4 ammo. And killing a boss will also grant 3 or 4 ammo. But another thing that can happen is that when you're shooting a bigger target with the Icebreaker, if they happen to die to the shatter or ignition damage, that can also grant you ammo because shatter and ignite count as abilities. You can see it in these clips here. When I slow it down, the sniper makes him 1 shot, but the shatter is what kills him, and I get 4 ammo refunded. So that's another hidden benefit of the Icebreaker on stasis builds. The random shatter and ignites can just give you ammo you didn't expect. It stacks up incredibly fast, and you'll have all the ammo you could ever need for your Icebreaker. It's very efficient. Plus, remember, the perk also states that assists grant ammo, so you can just tag some other dudes with your primary, or even like Unravel Seekers or whatever, and you'll just randomly get free ammo. And on top of that, we are running 1 copy of Special Finder and 1 copy of Solar Scavenger with our build, and I'll tell you why. Solar Reserves do absolutely nothing for the Icebreaker. You will only ever hold 10 ammo. Now, without scavengers, a special brick will only grant you 1 ammo, but with scavengers, you will get granted 2 ammo, and for some weird reason, having a scavenger mod affects your finder bricks as well. But running triple special finder will not grant you any more than 2 per brick. It's always going to be 2. And I know 2 shots doesn't sound like much, but if you think about it, that's straight up a 100% increase to ammo pickups. Seeing as how you only hold 10 ammo, it really adds up and ensures you don't run out. And in my experience, it's definitely worth running one finder and one scavenger. Trust me, it makes the weapon way more efficient. So while it has an amazing ammo economy as it is, it's only going to get better once we get our hands on the exotic catalyst, which supposedly will allow you to get ammo back when you damage a slowed or frozen target. So that's just yet another way we can keep our Icebreaker in our hands at all times and not have to swap away to a primary to get some ammo back, because the Icebreaker will be able to do it all itself, as long as you have a steady flow of some abilities that can slow your targets. And that brings us to our build of the day, Osmiomancy Gloves on Prismatic Warlock. Now, I know what some people might be thinking, what about just running this on my Getaway Artist build, because that can spam Bleak Watchers too? And that's definitely fine, it's doable, but it does have bad synergy with Icebreaker because your Arc Buddy can break frozen targets before you get the chance to snipe their crit. And the same thing happened when I tried to run Hellion. So no buddy abilities, we just got Bleak Watchers, which I guess are buddy abilities if you think about it. And we're pairing that along with Feed the Void to get Devour, which not only heals us on final blows, but also grants bonus grenade energy so we can spam more Bleak Watchers. And the reason Osmiomancy is great here is because the Cold Snap spam works incredibly well with the Icebreaker. So I guess I should read off the Osmiomancy. It gives us a second Cold Snap charge, and when our Cold Snap hits a target, it refunds some grenade energy. So when you pair that with Devour, it makes it extremely easy to spam all the Cold Snaps we want. And that Cold Snap makes it really free to make something frozen and set you up for a free ignition just by shattering them with your Icebreaker. So now that you get the idea that we're going for here, let's break down the build. So for our fragments, of course, we gotta have Facet of Ruin, increases the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or a frozen target, and also increases the AoE of solar ignitions. Double whammy for our build here. Then we got Facet of Protection for some resist while surrounded. Then we got Purpose, so we pick up an Orb of Power and we get Restoration. Then we got Facet of Command, so freezing a target fully reloads your weapon, which does nothing for the Icebreaker, but it's fine for your primary and your heavy. So if you're DPSing with a GL, you can just throw a Cold Snap, or your Bleak Watcher can just freeze the boss, and then you can get your GL reloaded for free. And finally, we got Facet of Courage, so our solar abilities here are going to do more damage to targets afflicted by darkness debuffs. So you can start by unraveling a boss with your thread and needle and then pop your Song of Flame and it'll do more damage. And also, don't quote me on this, but I believe this will also increase the damage of your solar ignitions because ignitions are coded as abilities. And that's it for fragments, but one fragment that I couldn't fit in, which you probably should try to fit it in if you can, is Facet of Solitude. So you can sever things by repeatedly hitting their crit, so you can make bosses do like 40% less damage or something. It's really useful. And moving on to our mod setup, like I said before, we got Special Finder and Scav to help out our Icebreaker, and then we got a copy of Solar Surge to help it out as well, and we got Time Dilation in our class item to go along with it. So because of our surges, we gotta have ways to make orbs, so that's why we got Reaper, as well as Solar Siphon, which by the way does work with the ignition kills from the Icebreaker, so it's pretty easy to proc. Then we just got a series of ability-based mods like Absolution for some ability energy on orb pickup, Balmer on the class item, then Impact Induction, Momentum Transfer, and Bolstering Detonation on our gloves. Then you can just run whatever resists you need on your chest, and the final mod, and definitely the elephant in the room, is that Solar Targeting mod. This is genuinely the first time I've ever ran a PvP mod and PvE, but it really makes the Icebreaker feel snappier because it has bad handling, plus it helps you hit your shots. And I also had nothing else I really needed to run in that slot, but you can use Heavy Ammo Finder if you want to. For our stats, I went with triple hundreds in Resilience, Discipline, and Strength for max ability spam while maintaining that tier 3 Intellect soft cap. And I don't believe Recovery is too necessary here since we aren't running Hellion or Weaver's Call, and we also have Bolstering Detonation that's constantly being procced by our Bleak Watchers to refund a ton of class ability energy anyway. And for our loadout, you can use whichever kinetic primary you're comfortable with. I would just recommend something for champions. You can also use a headstone weapon if you really wanted to go overboard on Icebreaker synergies, but personally, I don't think it's super worth it. The Icebreaker is more than enough on its own. And for our heavy slot, I'm using the Marsilian C with Envious and Explosive Light. It doesn't really matter what you run as long as it does good DPS and it's solar, because then it would synergize with your Solar Surge and Scavenger. And that's pretty much it for the build. Now for the gameplay loop, I recommend when starting an encounter to try to get a thread and needle kill as quick as possible to get Devour going, because that's how you really start snowballing and throwing tons of nades. But if it is sort of a run and gun encounter where you won't really be staying in one place, then just use your Cold Snaps. No need to make Bleak Watchers unless you're gonna be stationary for a while. Other than that, just spam Icebreaker pretty much non-stop until you run out of ammo, which basically never happens. It really is insane. You're freezing, shattering, igniting, and doming everything for a million. It's such a heavy hitting build. And no doubt in my mind, this will 100% see play in Grandmaster Nightfalls when those come back. This build allows you to stay safe at a distance and dish out some serious damage in ad clear. This is seriously one of my new favorite weapons, and it's only going to get better once we get that catalyst. And before we go, one more strange thing I noticed while using this weapon is that it feels like ammo drops way more frequently than normal. I could just be having a streak of good luck, or maybe there's a pattern to it. So what I'm thinking is that since the Icebreaker only holds 10 ammo, the game is coded to believe that you're running low on ammo literally all the time, and so it drops more special for you. I'm about 70% sure that's the case, but I swear I'm getting more ammo drops than I normally do. So as always, the dim loadout link to this build will be down below in the description and also the pinned comment if you'd like to give it a try. And if you got anybody who are Warlock mains who happen to have the Icebreaker, I'd appreciate if you share this video with them. I'm sure this is something they might want to try out. And to my hunter friends out there, I did want to try the Icebreaker on a Mask of Fealty build, but unfortunately I do not have that yet. And that's something I might want to experiment with for a future video once I get it. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to drop a like and a comment. Let me know what you think about this build. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here. Got a lot of episode Revenant content on the way. So hope you stick around, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.